Hi everyone, welcome along to today's video on heating. As usual, a lot of people having heating problems at the moment. One of the most common ones is when you get hot water and no central heating. Where'd you go? You know, the boiler's firing up, the pump's running, but you're getting no heating at all. This invariably F&E problem a lot of times, but we can do something about it with those. But if it's in a combi, I'm afraid if it is your freeway valve in there, you're not allowed to touch it, so we can't go there. But if you've got an F&E system and you're finding you've got no heating, invariably the best place to look is in your airing cupboard for one of these. And this is the freeway valve. There is also two-way valves. You may have two two-way or one three-way like this. Now, I've done quite a few videos on just getting by for a little while, so if you find you've got no heating, generally the best easiest course of action is to stick this in manual mode. And if I turn that round, you can see there's a little lever there, and if we click that across to the auto valve mode and lock it in so it locks up into that slot, then that is in manual mode and it will enable the heating to go in most cases. But you can hear the spring working on that. If I take the spring down, I unlock it, it will spring back. I know this motor is perfectly alright. Some of you said you pulled the cling across and there's no resistance, nothing, and nothing is happening. So that's when we've got to look a little bit further into problems with the freeway valve if that doesn't work to get you over the hurdle. So let's take a look at it now. First thing then to check is the motor inside here. We'll see if it is actually working and whether it is turning and doing anything at all. So to do that, we've got to get this screw off here and we're going to pull this cover off of the valve. So I'll show you how to do that. We simply obviously undo this screw here. I know this is in position in your cupboard, it will be in the plumbing, in the pipes. So just showing it on a valve outside, as it were, gives me more flexibility to show you what is going on. Once that's loose there, it should pull off. Don't need to take it right out. The cover will come off like that. And that reveals our motor here inside. Now I did mean to say make sure the power is off, obviously, before you go taking the lid off. Getting a bit carried away with myself there, getting too forward. Power off first, okay, good people, before you take anything off. So, what are we looking at here? Here is our motor attached here. You can see the spring thing in here on the motor. You pull it over and you can hear it go on this one because it's definitely working and it should be turning the motor. But what about if we're not sure whether it's actually doing it? It's all kind of floppy. Some of them are like this. Let's take the motor off of there now and we can check and see whether the motor is actually turning. So let's remove it from the body of the valve. So this valve is quite a popular common type. It's the Honeywell one, mid-position valve, and it may be a two-position valve. It doesn't matter, the same kind of thing applies. This one has two screws. There's one here, you can see that one there, and on the other side there will be one there. You can see that one there. So they're the ones we're going to undo and remove the top of the motor from. We've got our screwdriver and let's get cracking on it. So get this one off, then twist it round to this side and do the other one. I've started it already. Just show I'm doing screws now. We should be able to lift it away from the body now. Okay, then do the screw back up. In there, okay, just to hold it. You don't it all flopping around. Okay, next thing then is to have the valve off like that so you can see down to the spindle drive there that drives the top of this valve. You can see that that fits in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the heating on and just see if it's turning. So when it goes on, push the thermostat up to a high temperature, make sure that it's going to activate the heating, and just have a look at the motor. It should turn very slowly, but it should turn on to the on position. If that valve doesn't move, then you know the valve is kaput. Okay. On the other hand, you know, if you see it moving, it's genuinely all right, and it does mean that possibly this part is gone, the body of the valve. So that's something to try. And when everyone says, how do I know if my motorised valve is working? This is the easiest way. Take it off and turn the heat in and then turn hot water as well. See if it goes the other way. It should turn. So another important piece to check is if this valve paddle is working okay. As you can see, there's a little piece on there that the motor attaches to. See if it turns freely. It should turn easily, okay, like this one does. Turns very easily, and that is activating the paddle thing inside. Now I'll show you, you don't normally see this because it's in position, but if I put this up to the lens here, I'm hoping you'll be able to see. I was hoping to shine some more light on it if I can. You'll be able to see the paddle turning there as I turn the end. That is turning middle, hot water or heating over that way. So you can see roughly how these things actually work. Alright, so that's got to be working properly, because sometimes people have renewed the valve only to find it's still the same problem, and that this part here is the actual bit that is broken and not the motor. Generally people go for the motor first. I don't blame them, it's the easiest option. Renewing the whole valve is quite a plumbing job, I'm afraid. If you're not up to it, you might want to leave that, but you can change these motors, which 9 times out of 10 it usually is. I can't say guarantee you that, but as you can now see the possibilities of what can go wrong. But also you can just renew the motor part. You can just get the motor and renew that, and if you're up to changing the wires, you just go up to this little link box in there. You can see there, they just link inside there. So it's not too bad to do that either, and a very cheap option by doing it that way. Or if you're not up to it, just replace the whole thing, the whole motor. They're not that bad a price, and you can do it yourself. Just memorize the wires when they come out the switch box, okay? Write them all down, make sure you get them back in the same place. Don't make any mistakes with the wiring, alright? Causes lots of trouble, lots of hassle. Okay, and that generally is about it with the three-way motorised valve, or it could be just a two-way one that's not working. Again, you can check that is, you know, the motor's okay and actually working. As I say, my old tip, if it doesn't seem like it's moving, is just to get it going and just check whether that spindle is turning.
People do feel they're difficult decisions. I mean, I understand that.
Shut up.